So your kids are lazy. Don't worry, you're not alone. For most people, the temptation to do absolutely nothing is pretty strong. But God has a better way. In Colossians 3:23 through 24, the Bible tells us to work heartily, as if unto the Lord, not like we're working for people. Today, I'm sharing with you 10 tips to help your kids embrace this mindset and learn to work God's way, to work unto the Lord. If we haven't met, I'm Kim with Not Consumed Ministries. We help families grow in faith so that they can live not consumed by life circumstances. You can support us and help your family grow in faith by subscribing to our channel. We would really appreciate that. Okay, let's kick laziness to the curb and work God's way. Number 1, we need to model both good work habits and good work ethic. Let's start with the hard truth. We've got to practice what we preach. Can we seriously expect our kids to empty the dishwasher when we whine about going to work? Kids catch 100% of our behavior and only a small percent of the things that we tell them. They see if we are on time, committed, and respectful to our boss, or if we grumble and cut corners. Now, don't expect perfection, but be sure to hold yourself accountable for modeling good work habits and attitudes. This includes not bad-mouthing your boss, not complaining about going to work, not turning in lousy work, or even things like cheating your boss. I learned this from my mom. She became a single mom when I was just 3 and worked tirelessly, sometimes holding down 3 or 4 jobs at once to keep the lights on. Despite the challenges, she never complained. She was thankful for the work, trusting God to provide. Let's strive to reflect that attitude. It's not about perfection, it's about accountability. Number 2, shift your perspective on work. Now, working unto the Lord sounds great, but let's be honest. It's a tall order if your mindset is off. We've become so jaded about work because we believe the lies that the world tells us. We believe that the sole purpose of work is to make money and feed our families. It's become a ball and chain and a drudgery, something we can't wait to get away from. Our kids know this and take on the same attitude. We must stop the madness. One thing we need to know is that God says the exact opposite about work. In Ecclesiastes 5:19, he says to rejoice in your toil or work because it's a gift from God. Oof, a gift? Work is a gift? Trust me. I find it hard to believe sometimes too, but it's still true. Work is how God provides for us, not just financially, but spiritually, emotionally, and even physically. We get this mixed up because we often have pain associated with work. But did you realize that work was given to us by God and called good before the fall? The pain that we associate with work is actually a consequence of the fall. But the gift of work remains, even in the midst of pain. When we view work as a blessing rather than a burden, our attitude shifts. And guess what? Our kids will follow our lead. Number 3, teach good work habits and good work ethic. It's not enough just to model good behavior. We also need to teach our kids how to have good work habits and good work ethics. So let's start by defining those. Good work habits are the things you do regularly to become a better worker, such as reading, practicing your trade, sharpening organizational skills, and eating well so you can stay focused. Good work ethic is the reputation that you have as an employee. It's things like taking initiative, being dependable, contributing new ideas, and being a team player. An easy way to teach this is to compliment other people's work while you're out and about. Talk about a great job that a server did at a restaurant or a happy attitude that the cashier has at the grocery store. Point out an employee who went above and beyond and those who didn't bother. Of course, it may not be appropriate to do this in front of a person. Everyone loves a compliment, but complaining customers, not so much. I typically talk about these things as we walk out of the store or drive home. Whatever you do, don't harp on the bad fast food employee or the customer service rep who made your day frustrating. While it can be helpful to show our kids what the employee could have done better, it's far more impactful to show them employees who are actually doing good work instead of just griping all the time. Another way to teach excellent work habits is through chores. So number 4, create jobs for your kids. If we want our kids to learn to work, we have to create jobs that will help them learn the skills they need. This means allowing them to do a chore, even if it's much easier to do yourself. And believe me, it is. It also means looking for ways your kids can pick up bigger jobs that you might hire out, like lawn work or even painting. I know a homeschool mom who pays her 16-year-old to babysit her younger siblings in the afternoon so she can work. Genius! This helps mom a ton and teaches the older child incredible work skills. Plus, she has the opportunity to earn money and to learn to manage that. For tips on helping kids manage their money, I have another video I'll link in the comments. You might also look for things your older kids can do to save you time and to help them make money, like creating a grocery list or even shopping for you. Remember, time is money, so pay your teen and give them work experience while at the same time helping you take some things off your plate. Right? Of course, for most families, chores are going to be the main way that we create jobs for our kids, and there's no shortage of chore charts ideas out there. While I've tried them all, I think, most of them don't work. So frustrating. Many years ago, I developed a chore chart idea that actually works for kids because they helped develop the system. One of the secrets to success of this was that I had specific steps for completing each of the chores on their chore cards. If you've ever asked your kid to clean their room, you know why this is necessary, because their version of clean and our version of clean does not match up. If you give kids exact step-by-step instructions for cleaning their room, there's no chance of confusion. Everyone's on the same page about what clean looks like, and there's no excuse for not getting the job well done. If you'd like more tips on helping your kids manage their chores or even money, I'll link those resources in the comments. Stepping outside of chores, let's talk about developing our kids for future work. Number 5, create opportunities to strengthen their strengths. Often we harp on the weaknesses that our kids have and we try to get them special help or set up programs to get them practice, right? What if we put more energy into strengthening their strengths? I like to call it the zone of genius. Everyone has something they excel at. As a homeschool mom, it's my mission to find this thing for each of my kids and to feed the fire, because it's a lot easier to fan a fire than it is to fight an uphill battle. We want our kids to use their natural strengths and talents God has given them and pursue those things with all their hearts. We can help them do this in several ways. Help them see their strengths, give them tools like classes and subscriptions and books that will sharpen their skills. Help them learn about career options that best utilize their strengths, and connect them with mentors who have similar strengths. I would also note here that it's super important to capitalize on opportunities when your kids are young. Have you ever noticed how much little people want to help? They love to help. So take advantage of that and give them jobs. Let them develop those good work habits. I know it's not really helping you, and it's probably more annoying than anything. But just remember, that's not our point. Our goal is to teach our kids good habits. Number 6, teach into their weaknesses with purpose. Of course, we do need to work on weaknesses. I just want to emphasize again that I believe the focus of our time should be to better develop strengths. Work on weaknesses only to a point that it's necessary in life. For example, not everyone has to love to cook. If they know the basics, that's good enough. They don't need to master the creme brulee. My oldest child is a gifted writer. Language arts emerged as a clear winner before she was even in middle school. So as she entered high school with her heart set on biblical studies and a language type major, I lightened the math load so she could focus there and not get frustrated. She still took math and even did well enough on the ACT to get a full scholarship to college. But I didn't make her take trig or calculus or any of those advanced math classes. Instead, she took 3 years of Latin, a year of Greek, and finished her basic college English requirements before she was even a senior in high school. This way, she got to focus on the things that she loves to do and was clearly gifted to do, which is write. She wrote several of our products before she even graduated high school and is now working full-time on our writing team. Win! You can do this with any skill and subject that our culture pushes as normal or mandatory. Just think outside of the box and really ask yourself what your kids need. You're the boss. All right, number 7, show your kids that work is their responsibility. It's hard to watch your kids fail. Might even be one of the hardest parts of parenting. We naturally want to jump in and rescue them, shielding them from any of the negative effects of failure. But we must resist when it comes to work ethics and habits. Don't jump in and rescue your child when they don't come through. If your child leaves an assignment at home, don't rush to school or co-op to deliver it. It's better to learn this lesson in middle school than it is in high school or even college. The stakes only get higher as your kids get older, so the younger they learn the natural consequences, the better. When we give kids the opportunity to fail, we give them the chance to grow. Now, my kids have missed youth group activities because they failed to sign up. My youngest even went without lunch one day between work and piano because he forgot to pack it. I did rescue him many times, but I had to draw the line somewhere. After literally dozens of times of forgetting and me rescuing him because he's so young, one day I just couldn't make it work. Now don't worry, he didn't starve to death. He just had to wait an extra hour. And guess what? That was the last day he forgot to pack his lunch. What a clear reminder to me that when we rescue our kids from consequences, we enable them to keep up lazy and poor behaviors. More importantly, we hinder their growth. We have influence as parents, but we will never have ultimate control over the behavior of our kids. They have to choose to take responsibility for their own work habits and work ethics. Our job is simply to equip them to do so. If teaching responsibility is something you'd like more ideas for, I'll leave a link for that resource in the comments. Number 8, remind them that everyone works. In our Bible study Work Unto the Lord, one of my favorite parts is discovering all of the people who worked in the Bible. You'll find everything from mother to tent maker with so many cool options in between. But the biggest thing you'll see is that everyone worked. Moms, dads, kings in battle, priests in prayer, kids in the field, and yes, even Jesus. Sometimes we're fooled into thinking that work is a job or a career. Nothing could be further from the truth. Work is so much bigger than that. Just ask mom. Most moms hold down dozens of jobs without even stepping foot outside of the house. Show your kids that everyone helps around the house by implementing a strong chore system. Also, reinforce excellent work ethics by holding them accountable for schoolwork. Both of these things are a child's season of work, and they aren't exempt. The Bible's rather harsh on this topic. If anyone is not willing to work, let him not eat. 2 Thessalonians 3:10. Of course, that doesn't mean your toddler can't eat if he doesn't unload the dishwasher. There is certainly an age of accountability here, but note that it's likely way younger than most parents realize. Even a toddler can set a napkin at each person's plate while setting the table. Teaching kids to contribute from a very young age is crucial because chores and school are both what God has called kids to do with their lives. And the cool thing is, both are used to prepare them for what He has next. I love that. Number 9, teach kids that work is a reflection of who you are. Now, on the rare occasion that my family eats fast food, you can count on it being Chick-fil-A. I'm sure you know that we don't pick it because it has the shortest line or the cheapest menu. In fact, both of those aren't so. We pick Chick-fil-A because their customer service is a reflection of what they believe in. Yes, it's a Christian company, and that says a lot, but the company invests a lot of resources in developing its staff, including the sweet young lady at the drive-thru window, and it shows. We know that we're going to drive past another fast food restaurant with an empty line and a cheaper menu just to get to Chick-fil-A. We do it because we can count on their excellence. When people can count on your excellence, they will choose to work with you. Work ethics start at the core of who you are. If you're faithful to clean your room or turn in an assignment, you will be faithful as an employee. If you're faithful working in a drive-thru window, you'll be faithful as the manager. And if not, you won't be. Poor work ethic can close doors to relationships and opportunities. On the flip side, excellence builds trust and respect. Teach your kids that their character, reflected in their work, shapes their future. Number 10, teach your kids what God says about work. Now, this one probably seems obvious, but I'm not going to lie, I waited way too long to do it. When kids are young, we lead by example, but as our kids get older, like by age 6, we must faithfully teach them God's truths. Remember those diaper-wearing toddlers who will do anything to help? They turn into work-hating teenagers if they aren't taught the true value of work along the way. You can impact a teenager with a sudden chore system, but it will be far easier if they have been doing one since they were 5 or 6 years old. Here's what kids need to know: where the idea of work comes from, how God uniquely designed us for work, how work is a gift, how God tells us to work, how God uses work to grow us. If you're looking for practical ways to teach truths, check out our Work Unto the Lord Bible study linked in the comments. Teaching kids to work God's way takes time and consistency, but it's worth every effort. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with another parent who might need these tips. And don't forget to subscribe for more faith-filled parenting advice. See you in the next video where we'll dive into habits of obedience.